Hey, shalom. Hey, shalom, shalom. I want to start by saying, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahushai, Ka'alam la Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakudash, and also double honor to the apostles, the elder bishops, and the elders grand ministers on the rule world, and also shalom to sincere I came out there pushing truth in the name of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakudash. And I'm back here again with another lesson. And this lesson is going into this situation that took place over there in Chicago. It says armed federal agents clash with the protesters over there, right? And mind you, these protesters, most of them are, likely to be American citizen, okay? And what you see happening over there in Chicago is, it's going to lead into where, open fires, eventually are going to happen, where it's going to be civilians against these federal agent. They're gonna go from bullet to bullet. That's what Esau is basically pushing for, man. This is it's like this is something that Esau wants to happen anyway, to where we're gonna see some type of civil war, racial, breaking out over there. Okay, not just Chicago, all over America, man. And also so it's scripture, it's prophecy. Okay, it is written. Okay, it's gonna happen, man, because Jacob trouble is here. And all that. It's like all these things I just mentioned. Right, they are going to happen in Jacob trouble. Okay, we already in the beginning stages of Jacob trouble, and all we can do right now is just watch and do our lessons, tell warn our people, don't be involved, don't go and join these people who's protesting against the federal government or against ICE, whatever, because most of them they always be the insiders, man. It's all set up, like the scripture says, 2 Corinthians 2:11, man. We cannot be ignorant of certain devices, and the true men of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua are not going to be ignorant to these things. Okay, so before I play the video, let me get a few precepts, and we're going to go from there, all right? Let's go from there and go to the book of Exodus, right? This is the book of Exodus. Exodus chapter 23 in verse 2, it says, "Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil." Right? So, you don't want to follow the multitude of people to go and do what? To go and do evil. What evil you doing? You rising up against this government, okay, going against the government, that's evil doing, man, because if you get caught out there being stupid, guess what? You can't come back and say, I was fighting for my rights. I was fighting for the rights of the people. Fuck all that, especially if you happen to be a brother or sister in this truth, man. It ain't our fucking business being out there, man, protesting, Okay, the only thing we can do is preach the Bible, prophesy against this kingdom of Esau and the rest of the nations, and that's it. And that itself is enough. All right. So thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrestle judgment. Okay, and the key point was right there. And I want to read this in the NLT real quick and see what he says. It says, "You must not follow the crowd in doing wrong. When you're caught to testify in a dispute, it's like in a dispute, do not be swayed by the crowd to twist justice." All right. So let's go from there. This is another precept. Yeah, let's go here real quick. Wise. Do this. What's the precept? What's the book I'm looking for? Ephesians. There we go. This is the book of Ephesians, chapter 5 and verse 15. "See then you work circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise." Right? In NLT says, so be careful how you live. Don't live like fools, but like those who are wise. So you don't want to be a nigga. You don't want to be like, them people you see over there on the streets, okay, going against the federal government, the federal, army, you don't want to be that man, because the Heavenly Father, how about Shem Shah, he ain't gonna deliver you out of that situation. You're not supposed to be doing that, man. Verse 16, redeeming the time because the days are evil. So he's supposed to be what? Okay, measuring the time, redeeming the time. Okay, because the days we're coming into are evil, and also you gotta understand that these things are written to happen. There's nothing you can do to stop them. Okay, real quick let me get this precept. That's in the book of Limitation, right? I think it's this one, right? Right here, this is the book of Ephesians. This is a good one, but okay, here we go. It's like I say Ephesians. Lamentation chapter 3 in verse 37. Who is he that saith, and it cometh to pass when the Lord commandeth not? Right, so you got these individuals out there, all right? Okay, which I said before, whoever is running this protest is probably inside, just to incite, okay, what you see happening over there in Chicago. Okay, to incite violence, to incite, what's the word, man? Insurrection, okay? So Esau have a reason to start opening fires, man. To start letting the bullets fly, all right? So it says, who is he that saith and cometh to pass when the Lord Yahweh shall commandeth not? Right. So you can't go on the street and protest and do this and that, trying to stop the prophecies to be fulfilled. When the Heavenly Father Yahweh shall have said that, told his prophets that in his last days there's going to be, trouble after trouble, people fighting against one another with sword, okay. The cruel Lord is on the scene right now. Okay, pursuant to the book of Isaiah chapter 19, Esau, where's Revelation 12 and 12? The devil is here right now with that great wrath, it's like yeah, and there's not this fucking demon, man. Fucking hell, and there's nothing that anybody can do here to stop these things to happen. Even Esau himself can't do shit about it. You got your man Donald Trump talking about there's not going to be World War III, but guess what? He don't know. He don't know shit. He don't know what the fuck he's talking about. World War III will go off. World War III is going to go off. You understand? Jacob trouble is going to happen. Them idiots that said Jacob trouble had already taken place. Them idiots don't know the Bible. Okay? There's not going to be peace here on earth, man. Like they're coming together trying to create order. No, ain't no peace coming up on earth. Okay? And now when I say on earth, I'm talking about in his time, in his age we're in right now, there's no peace. Okay, these devils has to be taken now before peace can be multiplied upon earth by the Israelites, man. All right. So verse 38, out of the mouth of the Most High proceedeth no evil and good. Exactly, man. Does not the Most High send both calamity and good? Exactly, he does. And out of the mouth of the prophets, what are you hearing? You're hearing the bad news and the good news. What's the bad news? That this side is about to be taken out. The 2/3 are going to be taken, be bent out over there in the land of America. You wicked jacks scattered on the four corners of the earth. Plagues are going to hit you after another. Esau's going to be taken out. The heathens are going to be taken out, out. Okay? That's the bad news for these people. And the good news is that what? Is that a new kingdom is coming in. Everlasting kingdom is coming in. Okay? That's the good tidings, man. Okay? So let's go from there. And again, excuse me. Got a little bit. All right, Ephesians chapter 5. Let's come back here. Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 17. Wherefore be not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. Okay? So you have to be wise and understand what the counsel of Yahweh Shem Yashar is, what his word are really about. And once you understand that there's nothing, it's like there's none, Let me repeat myself. Once you understand what the will of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is, you can't be on them streets protesting against the federal government like you got these idiots doing, which I believe they're following somebody who was set up by the government. Okay? Verse 18, be not drunk with wine. Be not drunk with wine, physically wine, also spiritual wine. Going to the philosophy of Esau, going into all these different agendas that you see Esau got going on right now, man. Okay? People are getting caught up in them. Wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit. But what? Be filled with the Spirit, man. Okay? Because once you feel with the Spirit, then you're not going to be worried about what the fuck you see happening, man. Okay? Let's go Ephesians chapter 6, and let's go to verse, let's get to the point of it. Let me see. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 16, it says, above all, taking shield of faith, wherewith you should be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. In the NLT, in addition to all these, hold up the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil. And let's go to the word. It's been a minute. Slow down. What is it? What do? Darts. Miso. Okay, here. All right, no darts. Okay. Okay, if you there's is the one? No, there's another one. It must be. Hold up. All right, here. My first stuck here. Ephesians 6, and that was a good one, but this the one I'm looking for is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might, which is this knowledge right here. Put on the whole armor of Yahweh, that you might be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And that word wise goes into what the strategies of the devil. And there's Esau got those strategies right now, man. Okay. And if you're not really if you're not on point, man, you're gonna be caught up in it. Okay. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8, it says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as rolling lion, work for about seeking whom he might devour, man. Okay. All right. Stay alert. Watch for your great enemy, the devil. He plows around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. And that's what Esau's doing. If you get caught up in this protest happening over there in Chicago, man, you get caught up and then, hey, you get judged. Hey, guess what, man? You ain't supposed, you weren't meant to be there, man. You have no business being over there. And if you happen to be a believer, man, hey, check this out. 1 Peter chapter 4. Basically stay away from all these bullshit you see happening. Okay? 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 15 says, but if you suffer, however, it must not be for murder, right? Don't suffer for you, committing murder, stealing, right? Making trouble, being out there in the crowd, causing protests like that. That's causing trouble. Or praying into others people's faith. Don't be caught up into what the two guys got going on it, man. That's their fucking problem, no our fucking problems. Because once Esau comes against us, two guys are gonna be what? They're gonna do us like they did Yahushua back then, 2,000 years ago, man. We have no king but Caesar. Watch. Okay? That's what them niggas gonna be saying. By verse 16. But it is no shame to suffer for being Hamashiach. Okay, it is no shame for you to suffer as being a true believer, man. Okay, we're gonna suffer for calling ourselves Hebrew Israelite, man. For calling on the name of Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua, we're gonna suffer for that, man. We're gonna suffer for preaching His truth. Okay, so praise Yahweh for the privilege of being called by His name, privileged by being called by His name, and we're gonna suffer for that, man. All right, let me see if I can get a quick precept on that one. You know what? No, let me let it be. And let's move on forward. Okay, so this let me. Okay, that should be good. Now let's play this video right here.
protesters clashing with federal immigration law enforcement officials. This video from our NBC station in Chicago showing what appears to be armed agents, many of whom are wearing gas masks, confronting a large crowd in Chicago's East Side neighborhood. Now, it's not clear why those federal agents were in that area or what led to that incident. NBC's Shaq Brewster joins us.
Now, what I want to say real quick is where are those young, YNs that was talking tough shit on YouTube 2 weeks ago? Where you niggas at, man? Why aren't you niggas on the street right now? This is the best opportunity for you niggas to really get on the street and go hand in hand in combat with with this federal police. This is our moment. This is your moment, man. Where you niggas at, man?
Now from our Chicago bureau with more on this. So, Shaq, what do we know about this clash between the protesters and armed agents?
Hi there, Ryan. Well, we're getting a better picture of what was happening and what happened before this all took place. You see that video, some very tense moments there in that East Side neighborhood. According to Custom and Border Patrol via a DHS spokesperson,
I don't see no YNs, but in this video, all I see is the Ishka in there.
We're out doing some immigration patrols. We know they have that surge going on right now called Operation Midway Blitz. And this is according to their statement. They say an undocumented immigrant, quote, rammed a Border Patrol vehicle and attempted to flee the scene. That then led to a vehicle pursuit, and they used a pit maneuver to stop that vehicle. They say that's when the two people who were inside the vehicle began to flee, and those two who they say were undocumented were arrested. At that moment, a crowd, they say, began to form, and they confirmed that they used, quote, crowd control measures to help get agents out of there. Now, we're also hearing from Chicago Police Department. Remember, Chicago Police, they do not assist with any of these immigration operations, but they were called in response to that vehicle crash, and they say that they were called because of an accident, and they attempted to de-escalate the situation between the crowd and the federal agents. You see some of that on your screen right now, and you see some of the police officers there standing in between the federal agents and the crowd. This is a quote from Chicago Police Department. They say individuals then began throwing objects at the federal or exposed suburbs as well.
So hey, you see what's going on? I don't see them top dudes that were talking shit a while ago on them streets doing what they said they were gonna do. But anyway, let's read this right here, right? Mark chapter 2, in verse 23. Yahushua called him over and responded with an illustration. How can Satan cast out Satan? He asked. A kingdom divided by a civil war will collapse. And that's what America is about to go through. A civil war. Okay? It's similar. A family splintered by a feud will fall apart. And if Satan is divided and fights against himself, how can he stand? He will never survive. Okay? Even though what you see happening over there. Okay, that's Esau coming against the northern tribe. Okay, even the southern tribe, Esau is coming against them. But eventually, okay, you're going to have a civil war take place in America and race war, man. And all that is going to happen at once. Okay? Like, America is through right now, man. Okay, Trump is over there. He was over there in Egypt, bringing peace between Amalek and Ishmael. The whole world is giving him a thumbs up and shit. And now he's about to, bring peace between Ukraine and Russia. What about America itself? You know what I'm saying? What about America, man? I believe the government shutdown's still going, but this man is somewhere else, right? He's somewhere else right now, man. Anyway, let's come in. 2nd Ezra chapter 9 in verse 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then should thou well understand that the Most High spoke of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. And this is what we're seeing happening over there in America, man. Uproars of people, and it's gonna get worse. You wait, man. One day you're gonna wake up and it's gonna be it's gonna be bloody. 2nd Ezra chapter 5 in verse let me see. Second Ezra chapter 5 verse 8. There shall be a confusion also in many places. There's a lot of confusion going on, man. Okay, and 5 shall be often saying not again. The wild beasts shall change their places, and mentions women shall bring forth monsters. But the key point was confusion. Okay, being in many places. There's a lot of confusion going on in America itself right now. Okay, let's go jump from there to the book of 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and verse 14. Woe to the war and them that do the ring. For the sword and their destruction drew nigh, and one people shall stand up, fight against another, and swords in their hands. Okay, that's what's coming up in America, man. Believe it or not. Okay, you can wait, and it's gonna happen. You can come against it and say, "Oh, this will never happen." That's okay, but it is written. This has not taken place yet. For there shall be sedition among men. You're going to see this happen in America. Sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings, no princes, and the cause of their actions shall stand in their power, man. You see? It's going to get worse in America, man. They're not going to regard, what the president, that the senators or whatever you call them, the state, leaders, I forget the name for them. All right, they're not going to regard any of them. They're just going to do what they wish to do, man, because it's going to be crazy out there. Okay, the scripture says, because iniquity shall bound, the love of men shall wax cold. Okay, in verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. You see, martial law is going to be called in. Highways, streets are going to be shut. Airports going to be shut. Okay? Fuck around, East might cause EMP to be shot in the midst of all this, man. And blaming who? You already know. North Korea, Iran, China, Russia. They showed you in our movie Civil War and our movie Leave the War Behind. Okay? Go rewatch those movies, man. Verse 19. Verse 18, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Yeah, that's going to happen. Houses being looted up, houses being looted, being set on fire, people break into houses, people break into stores, rapes, all that, Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Right, man. Stores going to be shut. Can't into there. Can't go nowhere. Now what? There ain't no food coming in. Highways shut. Trucks ain't bring nothing in there. You see that? Okay. Can't call 000, so people rushing to the store, taking food by force, killing one another for food because they know what the fuck. We don't know how long this shit's gonna be. It's like this shit's gonna stop. Like during the C-19, people didn't know how the fuck. It's like people didn't know how long the lockdowns were gonna be, so they would do what? They would rush to the stores and give back then motherfuckers was so down they're getting toilet paper, but this time is food. It's food, and they're going. Hey man, people gonna kill one another for that, man. Okay. All right, let's go get another one. Zechariah chapter 14. Zechariah chapter 14 and verse 2. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and cities shall be. And that's what the Heavenly Father is doing right now. He's gathering all these nations to ready to go to fight. Okay. And so I'll gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, and the women ravished. Half of the city shall go forth into captivity, those FEMA camp, and the residue of the people shall no be cut off from the city. In the NLT, I'll gather all nations to fight against Jerusalem. Okay, the Heavenly Father is preparing now as well. That World War III, and who they're gonna fight during that World War III. In the midst of that World War III, they're gonna try to fight Yahweh Shah. But in the midst of World War III is happening itself. Jake is gonna be on. Esau's gonna come against Jake. Okay, They're probably gonna have these foreign troops over there in America coming against Jake. Okay, it says, "I will gather all the nations to fight against Jerusalem. The city will be taken and houses looted." You see, houses going to be looted, and the women raped. Half of the population will be taken into captivity. What is that? Captivity, FEMA camp, and the rest will be left among the ruins of the city. The rest are going to be left out in the ruins, man. Okay, wandering around. You know. Okay. And that's going to be terrible out there. It's like it's going to be terrible for you if you're out there in the ruined cities and if the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Hashem Shah, is not on your side. All right? It's going to be nothing but gangs and mobs out there, man. You know? And you women are going to be in trouble. Psst. Okay? Shit's about to get fucking crazy out here, man. Jeremiah 30:7 is about to come to play, man. You know? So with that, man, hopefully this session was edified. I say, hey, shalom.